Towards the 2013 elections, there was a program being conducted by LCPI that was involving the communities, particularly in the hotspots, and Otonglo having been identified as one of the hotspots. A select team, a multi-stakeholders forum was held at Otonglo, where 50 participants representing different stakeholders came together, and an election was done, whereby a team of 8 for the task force that will be representing the other stakeholders was formed. That team of 8 also ended up with electing one as the representative, and that representative is me. That is how I became the chairperson of the Otonglo task force. Now, the main aim of forming this task force was such that whenever there are chaos, particularly in a given area, it is the people themselves that are involved. And it was identified, and we agreed with the LCPI team that as communities who are always here, we should also participate in not only monitoring, but also taking part in peace building. So that is actually why it was formed. And at the end of the day, given the activities that we underwent, I think we succeeded. Because at the end of the day, there was peace at Otonglo even during voting and even after. Challenges were there, yes. Some of the challenges actually were that after we were formed, the task force team was formed, there were some politicians who felt or thought that this was a parallel, strategy to go against them or work against them. And later on, when they came to realize the kind of work that we were doing, which was very neutral and accommodating everybody, then they became neutralized and they became, partners. So at the community level, there are people who at first felt that because this was a new initiative, that it was not for their benefit. And they thought that when we were telling them not to do some things which were not to their benefit, they felt we were challenging them. But later on they came to understand, given the fact that actually sometimes those who propagate illegalities, at the end of the day, they also become victims. So particularly during election time, threats come from different sides. Any camp can be a victim. So later on, a majority of the followers of the politicians became our friends. 2007-2008 elections, actually the post was very chaotic. And where we are today, Otonglo Market, was a chaotic scene where in fact the road was barricaded, and if you can see behind me, there is a container of Coca-Cola. That container was literally lifted by the people and taken to the road. So nobody could pass. Anybody moving towards Busia could not pass through Otonglo. And there were tires everywhere lit, and there was a lot of chaos, and the police were running up and down with the people, and even somebody died here at Otonglo. In 2013, everything became so peaceful, and even after the announcement that the popular candidate from this area was not the man to be the president, we managed to talk to the people, and I think at the end of the day it can be seen, and it is on record, that Otonglo was peaceful. When we were starting to work on this, actually, we didn't even know that we were going to succeed. But one of the best things that we came to realize was the fact that working together with the communities, actually talking to each other, was the best way to do things. It is in this same office where we are standing next to that we used to hold most of the meetings. At one time, when some politicians were being barred from visiting a funeral, we are normally around campaign times, that is the platform where politicians talk to people. We were able to bring these people together. We brought representatives of the politicians and we spoke with them. Here there was a dialogue, a community dialogue in this hall. And we ended up realizing that speaking to one another sometimes reduces the tensions. And in fact, at that time, the tensions went down. The task team that was formed is still intact. though the activities are not as frequent as we used to hold them, but we still believe that there is need for peace in the community. And actually I can report back that as recently as I think a month ago, with support from LCBI, we had to involve ourselves in peace building in the community towards the shores of Lake Victoria, somewhere down along this road, where a killing had taken place in the community amongst the boys that we have around, and we had to think of ways of talking to the boys so that they can also know that shedding blood is not important. And I can report back that today some of those boys who are on their own have formed groups and they have registered, and they are even ready now to apply for the youth fund. Yeah, that was with support from LCPI. And not only that, anything that happens in the community with the support of this task force team. And remember, it involved the business, it involved the matatu touts, it involved the faith-based, and almost everybody was brought on board. And we pass on this information. We normally take time and preach peace in the community, even in the churches, and even at funerals and at meetings. Yeah. So we are not saying that because there is peace or a lull in reactions, we are sitting comfortable. We are still sitting comfortable.